behind before that change comes.
The longest straightaway is the steepest banking, the fastest track in NASCAR. But unlike its sister track at Daytona, the Talladega start-finish line is not in the middle of this big looping tri-oval at what would be the center of pit road. It's all the way down past the pit exit, all the way down toward turn one, and that makes for some really different finishes.
It does. Every time we come here, it's a game changer. Flags in the air. We're going racing, folks. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys.
Boy, big gap opened up by the 24, and the 3 was able to sneak in between him and the 88. But now here comes a big push from the 20 on the outside of Matt Kenseth.
And the 3 is going to get caught in the middle.
In the sucker hole already. I mean, that was just should have stayed with the 24.
Well,
that's just a rookie. I think that's a rookie mistake.
I don't know if anybody's going to go with Matt Kenseth out there. They're thinking about it.
I think the 3 should have just stayed where he was. I know that he thought the 20 had a run on him, but he should have stayed where he was.
20 comes down to side draft off the 3. Matt Kenseth trying to make something happen in that yellow Toyota on the outside as Chase Elliott leads the first lap.
You know what I love? We didn't even make a lap, and they were 3 wide. Half a lap.
Just like Daytona, Chase Elliott on the pole leads lap 1.
Yeah, I think he was really hoping, Larry, to get both of his teammates, Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Jimmy Johnson, lined up behind him so they could get in line and take off and control this race, but that's not exactly the way it went.
No, the 3 and the 24 really jumped out there to a nice little lead, and that let the field get a run on them. And right now, I mean, the middle may come in later, but right now it's just not the place to be.
And by that 3 jumping out there, it now opened up that opportunity for all 3 Hendrick teammates to be right there, 1, 2, and 3. So while it didn't start off as a good plan, it's worked out pretty good.
Front 6 single file. Kane and Dillon side by side. Bain in the 6 helping Kane in the 5, and 3 wide further back.
Mike, one thing to watch is the side draft. You get right down on the guy's door. You see the 3 car to get right down on the door, but then on the straightaway you kind of spread out a little bit, put a little room between you and that car you were side drafting with.
And I think this is where that urgency that you talked about, Mike, is going to come into play, because while those up front like being single file and in control of this race, those that are further on back, they need to get there. They know that they don't have the amount of time they would typically have here at Talladega, because they know that that rain is looming.
You know, I talked about the side draft there real quickly. I think on the straightaway you want to separate yourself a little bit from the car that you're beside. But in a turn, Jeff, don't you want to get right down on that guy's door?
Yeah, in the corners, if you can get on the right rear quarter panel of that car that you're next to and dump the air over to the rear spoiler and inside that fender well, you're going to pull that car back. That's what we call the side draft. But as you come off the corner, you want to widen out and create a gap to keep that momentum going for yourself and hopefully keep dragging that car back that's beside you.
It's an art, and it takes practice, and I'm not real sure the 3-car did it just exactly right there on the start of that race.
Ryan Blaney up 5 positions from his 17th starting spot. Chase Elliott leads Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Jimmy Johnson around Talladega. Matt?
Mike, taking a page from Joe Gibbs Racing's game plan at Daytona, Dale Earnhardt Jr. told Jeff Gordon on the pace laps he wants to work more with his teammates during this event. In fact, he told his spotter, TJ Majors, to position himself on the spotter stand near Eddie DeHunt, the 24 team spotter, to help with that messaging.
Can you hear that spotter for the 24? I can't be. We're going to try to work together today. It might be important to jump each one. Just tell him don't drag the brake, don't lift. 10-4, I'll go tell him.
I find that fascinating, because if we go back to Daytona, it wasn't that long ago. On the opening laps, Dale Jr. was right in this exact same position behind Chase Elliott. They came through the tri-oval, and he made a big move, got a big surge of momentum from behind, and made that pass on Chase Elliott and took the lead. He wanted to be in control. They saw what JGR did at Daytona and how they dominated this race and won it.
Jamie.
And Chase Elliott leading the field. He's in the same car that sat on the pole for the last 5 restrictor plate races. Now remember, he was caught up early in that wreck at Daytona. They told me that was a lesson they're glad they learned, because today They won't be as aggressive. They're going to take their time, and they want to finish the race. That is the goal. But so far, the 24 doing a great job.
Yeah, and I'm seeing those teammates group up already. The 18 started all the way back in 17th spot, and he's already gained a bunch of places here, and he's getting up there with his teammates.
Now, Mike, this goes right back to what we talked about at the beginning of this race. The 11 went to the outside of the 3. That's not the preferred line, but he knew he had the 78 behind him that more than likely would go with him. He made that move. Now he gets to move back down in front of the 3 car and hopefully bring the 78 with him.
Now that puts 3 Toyotas in line.
One in front. He's too wide now. 78 is.
Right behind the 3 Chevrolets. Matt Kenseth, Denny Hamlin, and Martin Truex, whose Furniture Row operation is a satellite team of Joe Gibbs Racing.
Those Gibbs cars are already teaming up. Jeff, there's the 20, the 11, the 78. They're all getting together.
You know, they don't qualify as well as we've seen the Hendrick cars or some of the other Chevrolets, but man, when they drop the green flag, these cars are so fast.
Well, you can bring 2 kind of cars down. You can build a low drag car down here, and it'll go pretty. We got a
Somebody forgot to tell Denny Hamlin about the Gibbs cars working together today.
Well, it's early. Someone will remind him.
And maybe
I'm sure.
not the first time for the 11.
Now Jimmy Johnson has lost the draft from his teammates, Chase Elliott and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Don't leave your seat and you won't miss a lap of the Geico 500 on Fox.